So we'll start with the team that finished quote unquote third, the Atlanta Falcons, 8-9. They have hired Kevin Stefanski as their head coach. They have a big quarterback decision to make. Well, I say big. It is between Tua and Michael Penix Jr. As we talked about last week, they signed Bijan to a 3-year extension. That was the right thing to do. And the last thing I've got noted here is their last 3 first-round picks haven't gone well so far. So you're looking at Michael Penix Jr., who, this might sound harsh, but he could borderline be a bust already. Jalen Walker, who unfortunately has torn his ACL, I believe. So he's out for this whole season. And another first-round pick that they used that year to trade up, James Pierce, who had some off-field and could be facing a lengthy suspension. So when you don't hit on your first-round picks, as I have found out with the 49ers as of late, it really stifles your team. And that's kind of where I think the Falcons are. Like, they've got some nice individual pieces. You know, they've got Bijan, they've got Drake London, even Pitts. Like, I know he's not a 4th overall pick, but he's a productive tight end if you take that away. But defensively now, when you take those guys away that they invested in, it does leave me thinking, is that going to be the area of weakness this year? That front 7? Are you going to be able to just pass, protect, run the ball with a secondary that I think is a little bit suspect as well? What do you think?
I not disagree, but, well, especially on the last point, the secondaries, it's okay. It's okay. They got Jesse Bates. They got, what's the guy? Watts is the other safety. He's okay. They got Terrell at corner. He's a good corner.
Terrell's good, yeah.
The secondary's okay. The problem in Atlanta has always been they can't pressure the quarterback. And last year, they were super aggressive, and they then traded with the Rams, gave them an extra first-round pick to draft 2 pass rushers because they were the worst in the NFL the previous year at pressuring the quarterback. And then they went, right, we really, really need to address this. So they went super aggressive, and right, we'll take 2 of those guys. And they were both productive last year. And the Falcons were a different team. The problem wasn't the pass rush. But then they got unlucky, clearly, because James Pierce, character concerns coming into the draft. We don't know. I'm not all over the kind of circumstances of how long he will be suspended for, but he will be suspended. And you said that Walker's done.
Walker's out for the season. So that's bad luck. That's not like bad selection, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, he's not going to be available. So that hurts them big time.
Yeah. So in theory, 2 years ago, they were the worst D-line in the NFL. They drafted 2 guys to upgrade it. They did. And now those 2 guys are out. So we're going to struggle to be even competent at D-line again in Atlanta. And you can have the best secondary in the NFL. I don't care. If you can't pressure the quarterback, eventually NFL wide receivers are going to run open.
Yeah.
And they're going to be found. You can have all-pro free safety, Jesse Bates, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. AJ Terrell, good corner. I love him on my team. But he can't shut down. The level of talent at wide receiver in the NFL is too good. So, yeah, the Falcons, that's tough for the Falcons. I mean, and with the Falcons, the Stefanski thing, I mean, he's just left my division. I was sad he was leaving my division because I don't think he's that good. I really don't.
I've said it for a number of years.
He's 2-time coach of the year. Okay. Would he be coach of the year without Jim Schwartz? Was Jim Schwartz the best coordinator, the best defensive coordinator in the NFL in the time when Stefanski was the head coach? Probably. I rate Schwartz much higher than I do Stefanski. So, and the last couple of years in Cleveland, I know, I get it. Deshaun Watson and Shador and whoever else was playing quarterback there, Dylan Gabriel, but their offense was terrible. And he's an offensive head coach. So at some point, he has to.
What have I said about him though? Remember what this is. I've always stood on this. He is a run game specialist. So to run the ball, he's going to do great things. But if you watch his passing game, it is basic. Yeah. It is too basic. It's not. You're not going to get elevated play. And with these two quarterbacks, I think they could be in trouble in the passing game.
Yeah. And so he's coming in. They've got a good offensive line, the Falcons, and they can really block for the running back. But we saw it last year. Bijan had a special year. So is Stefanski, because how much better can Bijan even be? Because we saw the results last year. Yeah, with Penix and Tua's coming in. I don't know how different that is. The running game can't get much better than what it was. So how can the Falcons get better? Because we saw the results last year with the two rookie pass rushers. You don't have them now. So how can the Falcons be any better, at least on paper, than what they were? Tua, and as well, it's a bit confusing for me. I get it. They've taken Tua because it was a great deal, at least financially. But Tua and Penix are two completely different quarterbacks.
Even hand. You've got one left-handed.
Yeah. Okay, so they're both lefties, sure. But
Penix is left-handed as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That maybe makes a bit more sense to me now. But yeah, they are very, very different. You're right in terms of their attributes.
Yeah, Penix is a bigger guy who wants to throw downfield passes. He's got a big arm.
Yeah,
is more mobile, but doesn't take advantage of it. Doesn't take advantage of the mobility that he has. He doesn't seem that quick, but he is at least a big guy with a big arm. He just not that accurate. Tua, the smaller guy, is accurate, but isn't an athlete, an NFL athlete. You should never say these guys are not athletes, but in terms of an NFL, I know it sounds disrespectful, but he's not NFL level athlete at the quarterback position. And he wants to play like a shorter passing game, guys, your quick slants and kind of scheming guys open so he can take advantage of his accuracy. So you've got two very different styles of quarterback there. So they need to make a decision, because good teams would make a decision now and say, right, it's this guy. So at least we're getting ready for the off season. I think it's going to be Tua.
I think because Penix, I think he's not fully healthy yet.
Even more reason to just say it's Tua.
Yeah.
Because just get ready for the regular season. But maybe they know more than we do. Like Penix is nearly ready. He's right there.
Who would you pick if they were both healthy? No injury concerns. Who would you pick for this team?
Neither.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. But if you had to, I think Penix is more suited to these weapons. Like in terms of Drake London, you're not trying to run a quick slant with Drake London. Like you're trying to hit a big, like chunky 20-yard out to Drake London.
Yeah.
So in terms of at least, what the roster is constructed to do, it is more favorable to Penix, I think. But I agree. I mean, I don't think either of these two are the answer.
No, I think he should not double down on a mistake,
No.
do a thing like he's cheap. And he did have some really special results in Miami, but that was when everything was going really well with a genius play caller, really talented offensive weapons around him. Everything was in his favor. Yeah, it's just quite confusing. They're two different styles of quarterback. So you have to have two completely different almost playbooks for them. And the strength of Stefanski, at least in theory, I don't know how much more they can maximize it. Because
Bijan had, what was it, 2,200 yards total scrimmage?
yeah,
Like, you can't run him, you'll run him into the ground if you go any higher with the volume. It's not like a Jahmyr Gibbs situation where you're sort of saying, well, he was sharing his load. Bijan had full load. Like, okay, yeah, he had a great backup behind him, but he had the full load.
yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, the Falcons, I'm just not. When you tell me about the Walker thing, that's tough. Like, because to lose both, and they had both last year, and they didn't make the playoffs. I think it's tough for Atlanta. I'd be leaning now. I'm really think Atlanta season bet under. If they're, you can still get them around the 7.5. I'm sure they'd be about 7.5 in terms of rankings. Season win.
I mean, a lot of their success now is, I think, dependent on if the offensive line can dominate. Because, you look at the Saquon Barkley season with the Eagles. What do you think every team that was going to face the Eagles last year were doing? They were trying to find ways to stop that run game. And that's exactly what teams will be doing with the Falcons, with Bijan. Can you stop him? I don't know. I think that you probably can if it is your total focus.
Yeah.
So then it's on the quarterbacks to take advantage of that. Can they do that? I really don't know. And so with the defensive injuries or unavailability now, this could be a team that's involved in a lot of high-scoring games.
I feel bad for the guys in the Falcons secondary because, damn, they're going to be covering guys for a long time. And like I said, I think they're pretty good players, but it doesn't work in the NFL with no pass rush.
No.
So, yeah, that's tough for the Falcons. If they could lose different guys, but to lose both their pass rush that they went out and got last year and were productive last year and did make a difference. Remember saying to you when watching the Falcons, the game in Germany against the Colts, this is a different Falcons team. These two rookies, a huge difference to them. And they did.
They did in the pass rush. They could still be bullied in the run game. Like, I remember watching I know watching the Niners game is a bit different, but the Niners had struggled all year and they had a great night against the Falcons. They were able to bully them up front. And Jonathan Taylor I know it's Jonathan Taylor, like he could bully anyone. They had a big day against the Falcons in that game. So the pass rush was definitely different. But now you take that away, it feels like teams might be able to do whatever they want to the Falcons this year.
Yeah, it's going to be tough in Atlanta. They also play the NFC North.
Yeah.
The AFC North. AFC North, NFC North. So that's the theme for all three NFC South teams.
This could be another year for this division where the winning team has got a losing record.
Yeah. So the case to be optimistic for the Falcons is that Tua could give them what they were missing in he's an accurate quarterback. So the offensive line can pass block as well as run block. So he's going to create some time for Tua to hit those shorter throws to London and Pitts. London's not quick, but he is a good technician.
He's a mismatch as well, in fairness, with his size.
But the mismatch part with the Tua thing isn't going to work. It's going to be, can he get open in shorts in quickly off the line of scrimmage? And
you're going to need to win a few like jump balls, I think, as well, like floating jump balls.
Yeah, but Tua's Atlanta plays in a dome. So Tua's arm strength isn't going to be, because I am projecting it that it will be Tua. I think it will be Tua. I would expect it to be Tua. So
at least to start with, yeah, I agree.
Tua could give them what they were missing. So Tua add to Bijan with a good O-line. You can make a case for it being successful, but on the defensive side, I just cannot see much case because all the free agents are gone.
Mm.
The draft is gone. They can't hide that kind of weakness, that glaring weakness on the defensive line.
They've brought in Samson Ebukam, who I think he's up there in age now. You know, like he was a nice like role player for the Niners like 5 years ago. So we're right at the end probably for him. And they brought in Ojulari, who was good on the Giants, and then kind of just didn't. He couldn't get a look in at the Eagles. So, and I say couldn't get a look in because of the guys in front of him. Like he wasn't at that level. So I don't know what he's going to look like now. Really having a year where he wasn't even half go, I'd say. It's hard to just, suddenly like go back to being the full go player that you were the year before.
And they're now backed into a corner. So say I'm immediately like drawn to call up the Steelers and ask what's the price for Highsmith? What's the price for, or who do you want to trade out of the three? But the Steelers, in terms of negotiating, would be, well, we know you're desperate. We watch the news. We've seen your two guys are down. We know you're desperate. So the Falcons, yeah, it's tough. But there's very, very few teams in the NFL who have three starting edge rushers.
Yeah.
Steelers, maybe the Eagles. Make a phone call. Make a phone call. But everybody now is very much aware of the Falcons' need.
Yeah, absolutely. So for them, I mean, they're in the right division at least. Like they may stay in it longer than maybe I'm thinking they're going to stay in it because of this division. If it was any other division, you're sort of saying night.
Yeah, and they do have a superstar. They do. So they do have two. You can say Bijan, Kyle Pitts. If things go well, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, good O-line, Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, Tua, if it's in the right playbook.
Yeah.
They can have success, and they've got the best player in the division, possibly the best player in the NFL in Bijan Robinson. But how much better can he be from last year when he had 2,200 all-purpose yards?
Yeah. The point is to elevate, Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I mean, when you look at those three guys as a trio, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, there's not many teams that can sort of boast that, along with the fact that they've got a good offensive line.
Yeah.
We know plenty of teams that have got weapons, but no offensive line. The Falcons have got it pretty much all. It's just they don't have the most important piece of that offense at quarterback. So yeah, we're going to see with them. I definitely am down on them though, after seeing that injury break. And then that got me curious about James Pierce. And I saw that the suspension is still pending. That's going to hurt them big time.
Yeah, I think we could revisit the Falcons in a year's time. We'll have clarity then on what they're trying to do at quarterback. Bijan is tied up. He'll still be in his prime. Drake London is still young enough to be in his prime. Kyle Pitts is still.
They just signed Pitts to a multi-year deal. I completely forgot about that. Drake London was done last year. So those three guys are there. It's like you said, next year, they hopefully get Walker back.
Yeah.
Pierce, hopefully the off-field is behind him. It's just then planning at quarterback where they will have a first-round pick again. And who not? I haven't even looked at like free agency for next year at quarterback, but at least they'll have the first-round pick again.
Well, Baker Mayfield take it from the Bucs in division. There you go.
Wow.
There's going to be more, obviously, but can't think of a more high-profile free agent.
That would be such a Baker move as well.
Yeah. So with the Falcons, I think it's going to be tough, but revisit them in a year. But they could still win this division because it's the NFC South. So because all four teams are just, they're okay. They're